The prophet Haggai had two visions on a very important day in the 9th month called Kislev, which was on the 24th day. The visions pointed to the completion of the second Jewish temple in 516 BC, but there was also specific prophecy that applied to the final millennial temple. That is why Haggai notes how this day is to be always remembered and kept special. Haggai 2 verses 6 through 7 says, I will once more shake the heavens and the earth, the seas and the dry land. I will shake all nations, and the desired of all nations will come, and I will fill this house with glory. Zechariah 43:5 discusses how the glory of the Lord filled the temple. This is in reference to the future millennial temple. Another unique aspect of the great ingathering is that the survivors of the tribulation all have their eyes open to the truth concerning Jesus. Those who rejected Christ fall at the feet of believers and help with building and transportation, hoping to get a second chance. But this is all to no avail. Isaiah 45 verses 14 and 15 state, They will trudge behind you, coming over to you in chains. They will bow down before you and plead with you, saying, Surely God is with you, and there is no other. There is no other God. Truly you are a God who hides himself, O God and Savior of Israel. Zechariah 8:23 states, In those days 10 men from all languages and nations will take firm hold of one Jew by the hem of his robe and say, Let us go with you, because we have heard that God is with you. Isaiah 49:22 says, See, I will beckon to the Gentiles. I will lift up my banner to the peoples. They will bring your sons in their arms and carry your daughters on their shoulders. Kings will be your foster fathers, and their queens your nursing mothers. They will bow down before you with their faces to the ground. They will lick the dust from your feet. Of course, bowing down before others is not acceptable in God's eyes. But we must remember that these lost souls are desperate. But the curtain has been closed, and it's just too late. By the end of the great ingathering process, the sheep and goats will have been sorted out. Matthew 25 verses 31 through 34 states, When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory. All the nations will be gathered before him, and he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. He will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. Then the king will say to those on his right, Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. Many Bible students get confused here. The Greek word used for kingdom is basileus, which means foundation of authority and power. It should not be confused with heaven. One must remember heaven was not prepared since the creation of the world, as Jesus went to prepare our place in heaven after the resurrection. The sheep were also promised eternity later on in Matthew 24th chapter. Those blessed to enter the millennial kingdom never die. Only those cursed can possibly die. But God's people are not cursed. Matthew 25:41 later talks about those goats being cast into Gehenna, which is the lake of fire. When does this millennial kingdom start? Daniel 12th chapter 13th verse answers that question. Blessed is the one who waits for and reaches the end of the 1335 days. Daniel's 12th chapter describes a period of great suffering for the end times Jews. This period is called Jacob's trouble and lasts 1290 days from the abomination of desolation until the very end of tribulation. The only positive message for the Jew in this chapter is the 1335 days, or the beginning of the millennium. That explains why the great ingathering lasts 45 days. You take 1335 days minus 1290 and get 45.